What's going on? Okay, here we go. Finally a game. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna start by playing Logozar. Let's see how this goes. Should be a good start. Okay, D4, D5, 4. All right, what's going on? Let's see. Sorry if I'm a little bit slow here. First, guys, just trying to make sure that everything is correct. Alright, so far this is Slav, DC4, not the best move. Normally you try and put knight BD7. This guy's trying to play some kind of Moran. Normally you do this with a knight already developed. You normally don't push your pawns quite like this. This is probably dubious for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but I don't feel like wasting time trying to be precise when this is Blitz after all. Okay, bishop B7. Okay, bishop F3. D4, 4. I'm slow for some reason. Am I lagging? Maybe I'm lagging. Close this out. Let's see. Close all my windows in. Okay. All right, just keep playing normal chess. 3. Normally here you could take the pawn. I'm trying to play some kind of positional stuff. This is all kind of boring. Let's see what he does here. Okay, B8. Now the whole point here behind knight G3 is I want to play E4 so he can't play E5 because then I have knight F5. And he fell right into it. So now knight F5, and now I'm probably going to win the game in like moves. Maybe it's not, maybe not quite so simple. It's winning, but it's not going to be 2 moves. Probably take on D4. Okay, big. Probably take with the king here. Okay, probably shouldn't have taken with the knight. Now he gives me this square on C5. Got some problems here now on his queen side, but it's still something. Knight E6 should just take. Don't really want to take A7, give him C5, but it's all winning. It's just a question of style more than anything. Okay, C5, we'll play rook C1. Alright, so let's see. What's he going to do here? What is he going to do here? Has some problems here in this position. I mean, all his pieces are kind of not ideally placed. Mind you, if you can get a king to D6 or something, he's probably doing fine. But I'm going to play something positionally bad because I don't expect him to play G5. Maybe he will play G5, and then I'm not going to be so happy with myself. Of course he did it. Still, this is much better for white. G4 probably wasn't best because now I close in this bishop here on F3. I don't have any squares. But I'm going to try and come down here on the H file. Open up the H file, exchange pawns, come down rook H1 or rook H6. Do something like that. Try and do something creative. Rook H1. So maybe I'll play C5, but probably just do something like king C7. This is all pretty bad though. Also, his pawns are not perfectly placed here. They're all a little bit loose. Even though nothing's No threats, okay. I'll just take the pie. No, it's just a matter of technique. Anything should be winning here. Primarily, it's just black is too many weak. Black's down in exchange, and then also black. Well, I just have an extra cheap pawn here. I can just send the board. Well, I did just allow c5. That kind of wasn't not showing the best technique so far. Fortunately, the position's completely winning, so it's not actually gonna matter. But still, not ideal. Oh, I didn't expect him to go to c4. That kind of wasn't. I should be a little bit careful here, strangely. Yeah, but e5 should be enough to win. Bishop f3, king f3. Although he does a bishop c8, which I completely missed. Somehow I've turned this from completely winning into some kind of technical endgame where I'm going to show actual technique. That's not quite what I was hoping for. Okay, and yeah, now I should just be winning. Technical win. And I think king f2 is right. Looks right. Yeah, d2, king e2, rook d7, king e1. Should be winning now. King f3 might have actually been better. But here come the pawns. And this should be winning, yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna have to win this one. Okay. This should be winning though. Let's just see what he's gonna do. Now I'm going to show real technique. That was not very smooth at all. That was really not smooth. Okay. All right, let's see. So who's up next? That was pretty terrible. It's not well played. Okay, let's see. I'll play this. How about this? Okay, can we do it? Can we do it or not? Can we do it? We'll see. Actually, what is that flag? Like, that is that Vatican City? It is, okay. Another Slav guy. Two games, two Slavs. Surprising. Do I want to show some actual technique this game? I think I do. I guess I'll play an exchange. Let's see what his plan is. Sexy. It's G4. So far, so theory. Did I just say so far, so theory? Yeah, so far this is theory. I'm gonna try and speak some proper English. Sorry about that, everyone. Just making sure everything's good. All right, let's see. Okay. This is kind of weird. This doesn't look like kind of... You know, if this was someone else, I probably wouldn't do this, but it's too appetizing. It's too appetizing. It looks too nice. I have to sack. There's nothing else to do. In fact, it's probably actually winning once he takes the knight. I think maybe he could have played bishop b4, queen a5, queen a5, knight c3. Probably it is just bad, but I'm assuming that here he doesn't realize on bishop b4 I can just play queen b4. Probably should play queen d7 or queen b6. I think rook c1 looks pretty good. Maybe he can defend rook c8, queen 8, rook c8, queen a4, king d7. And now for the coup d'etat. Where is it? I do not see it. I mean, probably I can play king e2 and some kind of rook c6 idea with rook c1. I mean, bishop d6 is what he should play. And somehow this is not like easily winning, which is really kind of annoying in fact. But he doesn't have any moves here if I think about it. So here I could take and check and play rook c5. always a possibility. It looks pretty good, actually. I don't see any reason not to go for this. King d7, rook c5 will be the next moves. And probably it's going to be like something like king d7, rook c5, rook c7, rook c1, rook c8. And then I better find something or else I'm going to lose. I don't know if that's good or not, but on the flip side, he has to use a lot of time here to maybe figure it out, but let's see. And I don't really like b4. I can play queen a4. I can play... Okay, what am I... Maybe queen b3. Queen b3 to try and trick him so that I can take the knight here next move. It's not a guarantee. I would probably here he should move something like move his queen to a7 maybe. I don't know if that actually works. But it seems like a reasonable try. Something to stop. But queen a7 maybe then I'll play e4, d4, d5. Always there, maybe not best. Probably queen a7 I should just take, rook c6 and queen b5, queen a8, and then figure something out. Again, this is not so simple, strangely. I mean, this is kind of annoying. But I'm going to take a shot here that he'll play knight e8, allowing e4. And sure enough, he does. Here we go. If he takes, I'm going to go d5, and if he doesn't take, not actually sure what he can do. Alright, so he goes knight d6. Now, I think I can just take, and if he takes, I take, and then the knight on d6 is still pinned. What is the count here? I've got, what, 3 pawns? 3 pawns or something for my one piece that I'm missing? Probably he'll play queen b6, I would assume. Not 3 pawns, double pawns, but he's still tied up here, so I can probably just start rolling these B pawn and A pawn. Something like that, I'm not so sure. But it seems like as good an idea as any in this position, so he still does not have a threat. Okay, so let's just protect this bishop here. He can't move the king or I'll lose the knight here. In fact, he kind of might even be in just like in Zugzwang here, where he can't move any pieces at all. He moves the king, he hangs his knight. He can't move this knight. He can't move his queen because the knight hangs. He can't move his rooks. I mean, maybe it's to start pushing pawns or something, but this looks pretty ugly. Now, I don't have to do anything. I could also just play a5 or b4, but I'd rather wait. Just make him have to do something here, because I don't think he can, actually. I think he's kind of in Zugzwang completely. So now I'm just I'll make him go back to b7. And now I'll play a very subtle move like king g2. And yeah, actually, now I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to play a6, so he can't move his queen anymore. Now he kind of has to move some pawns over here or something. Okay, finally he caved, but fortunately it's a little bit too late here, as he's going to lose a bunch of pieces. Alright, so check. Probably king g8 or rook e7. Pretty much anything wins here, but I could have played bishop b7. That would have been a little bit nicer. But it's probably just... it's too little, too late. And let's see. So next game should be up soon. Let's see. Who am I going to play now? All right. Let's see. I told myself at the start that at least at the very beginning, I'm just going to play a bunch of random guys. I'd rather stay away from playing the guys like Danya. He seems to want to play me. He always seems to want to play me so that he can lose badly. But I'll give him that chance later on. Now isn't his time, though. Okay, so actually I'm trying to figure out why did I decide to play a Berlin against somebody who, when I'm supposed to be having a good time here and not taking this too seriously. That was kind of stupid. Anyway, since this has turned out to be something of a real line, see what he'll do. Probably put a bishop on g5 or e3, maybe c3. Probably one of those 3 moves would make the most sense. Sure enough, he does. a6, force him to move his bishop. Okay, there's some kind of Spanish or something. Maybe not even Spanish. It's going to be closer to like a Juco piano because his bishop's Normally the white bishop goes to c4, b3, c2. Here it went to b5, a4, c2. Probably. He still has the option to go to b3 next move if he wants to, and I'll actually make him decide right away. Probably going to c2 is better, just to keep open the square on b3 for his knight from d2. I'll play something simple, passive, avoid any tempos on my bishop with bishop b6. So let's see. I wonder what he'll do now. You could play a4, rook e1. Probably those are the two best moves here. That's what I would expect. Maybe something like queen e2 also, although the queen on e2 can get in the way because it's going to be hard to play d4, and if you take, there always are threats. Knight takes, knight f4. I'll play h6. I really want to go bishop e6, but he'll have knight g5, so I'll just take this precaution first. Okay, a4, good move. I'll get the rook out of this line from this rook. Probably he'll take, so I'll just make the free move. No harm if he doesn't take, the free move gets cancelled. If he does take, I save time. King h1, that's a strange. Definitely not the move I was expecting, but I'll continue. Stick to the plan, makes more sense. Shouldn't be any problems here. Knight h2. I'm not really sure what he's trying to accomplish. I don't know if he wants to go knight g4, put the other knight at f3. Maybe play f4, maybe. Oh, that's a little bit dubious in this position. But I'll keep playing normal with queen d7. Maybe sack on h3 at some point, maybe, depending how he sets up. Of course, he's going to play g4. Now it's time to punish him. This g4, so he can't really push h4 because g4 is saying f4 is going to be opening it up too much. So I'll play b4 because I figure here he hasn't opened the a file. So now if we keep this a file closed, his rook's not going anywhere. Obviously everything I say seems to be wrong because I said he goes g4, he can't play h4, f4, it's too loosening. He's going to make me have to prove it. Hopefully he's not listening. Maybe he is. F4, so I have to take, so otherwise he'll go f5. Here, there are many moves. I'll just take on c3 to open up the b file for my rook, just in case I need it. I probably don't need to take, but it makes more sense just to open up this file at some point later on. He can take on f6, but then I just take the knight on d2. So he takes, so I'm just going to keep opening it up. This is why I said putting this queen on e2 wasn't best, because now his king's on h1, so I can maybe play bishop b5, put some pressure on his king, and with the queen on e2, could be some issues. He can always take on f6, but here I'll just take on d3. Right concept if his king wasn't so open. But with his king so open, it's not going to work out very well. Now I've got bishop d5 coming next move. Depending on what he does, of course. Alright, so let's see. Queen e4, and now the hammer, bishop d5. Yeah. That's not going to work out so well for him. And this is why, like, putting the queen on e2, as I mentioned earlier, it's like when I say put the queen on e2 wasn't best, I mean, it's very abstract, it's very far out, but if anything ever opens up on the e file or the d file, something like that, he's going to have a lot of problems. F4, I can just take the bishop. Queen is still pinned to the king. Also kind of out of time. So I assume he'll resign here, maybe not, yeah. Alright, next game. Who's up next? Let's see. Halvard. Or no, it's not Halvard, I accepted. Okay, I accepted, I guess, challenge right below. Okay, this guy's Adam, 2216, so somewhat serious player. I'll start with knight f3. Is there a reason I seem to be getting white against everyone so far? Not sure why that is. c4. You can probably play d4, e6, c6, so because he wants to go back into standard theory. Do I want to play theory? Not really, so I'll play b3. Knight f6, bishop b2. Just gonna play classic setup, e3, castles, maybe d4. Maybe not. Haven't really decided what setup I'm going to play. I'll just play d4. Keep it simple. Makes some sense. d6. Interesting. Okay, so he wants to play something Okay, I'll just take on d5. Bishop d3. He'll probably put a bishop on b7, play for knight e4, maybe f5, maybe c5. I'll obviously put a knight on d7 too as well at some point. Pretty standard position so far. I'm going to develop queen c2, rook c1 most likely. Maybe put pressure on c7, maybe not. You can probably prevent any real pressure on the c file. Now he goes c5. I think this is actually a bad move. Which way to play? Bishop c2, bishop e2. Let him just take the bishop too. Okay, I'll just let him take the bishop. I don't care. I'll give him the two bishops, so I'll leave him with this weak pawn on d5 that will be isolated forever. I assume he'll take, maybe not. Rook c8's okay, but now he gives me this extra tempo with bishop f5. And if he puts the rook on c7, there's knight b5. Puts the rook on c6, there's knight d4. Kind of, he had to take or put a knight on e4. So I go on rook c8, he gave me this extra tempo. So if his rook is still on a8, then he could just kick my bishop with g6. Okay, so now he goes back, but which is a completely reasonable move, but now he lost tempo, which is the only problem. So now if he goes g6, my knight's on d4, not f3, like it would have been had I played bishop f5 right away. a6, okay, decent moves. Now I'm going to try and get extravagant, try and create some big threats along these diagonals with this bishop on this b2 h8, b1 h7, maybe knight f5 coming, maybe I'll go for some kind of grand attack, knight e2, knight g3. It all depends how he chooses to play. So he's trying to play... Yeah, okay, I'm going to go for it. I know it. You only live once. Maybe he'll play g6, maybe bishop f8. Also knight e6 is a move. Probably not the best move, because now he's giving me... I can go queen c2, knight e4. Probably anything's good here, but I'm going to play for attacks. I mean, no one wants to see some dry positional win. There's no point to that. Maybe in a classical game, not Blitz. Now, maybe he'll take, maybe he'll play rook c8, always there too. He has a couple different possibilities here, or bishop f8 also. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to attack him. I want to go knight f5, lineage g6. Knight c6 is a move that's very technical. Knight h5 is also a move. I mean, I really just want to attack him. I want to attack him, but I can't seem to figure out. Fine, I'll just take. I'll play something. Probably take with the pawn. He should take with the pawn. He can take with the rook. I want him to take with the pawn so I can go knight h5. And now we'll see what he does. Maybe he'll take, maybe he won't, but I should pre-move it. Seems pretty logical. Let's see what he's going to do now. Bishop e7. Okay, now it's time to go for the kill. Time to mate him. This is why probably removing this knight from c5 was bad in the first place. Okay, g6. I could exchange, take some small advantage, but I want to mate. I want to sack on g6, or just want a free pawn on e6. Probably he'll go bishop f8. Now taking... Oh, I really want to take, but I can't. Oh, this is annoying. Okay, and I don't have any time, so that doesn't help. Okay, I'm going to have to make this ugly. This is going to be ugly, but I'm going to go for it. Probably he'll take with the knight, takes with the pawn, I exchange queens. I'm going to gamble on him not taking with the pawn. Then I'll take with the knight so I can go queen h3. With a pre-move to gain a little bit of time. Obviously, that was a terrible pre-move, so now he wins a piece. But he is using a lot of time here. Maybe I can swindle him, maybe. Maybe he'll take with the knight. He should take with the bishop, but there's still some hope. Okay, so I kind of messes... Ah! Not what I meant to do. That was very poor. Let's see if I can can I flag this guy? Let's see. For some reason he doesn't want to move anything. Wow. This is so laggy, man. This is impossible. Jeez. This is gonna be a finish. Too much lag. Oh well. How it goes. Too much lag. Too much lag. That was unfortunate. Okay. I'm gonna try someone a little bit better, see. Let's see. Here, I thought I played someone. I wish I could see this rating before the game started, but oh well. Alright, let's see. Alright, so far pretty standard, nothing too exciting. I don't know, is he being slow? Am I lagging? Something's happening. A4, okay. Good move. Stops it from playing B5. He should probably play Bishop G5 here. Rook E1, something along these lines makes most sense. Or Knight E5. H3. This actually is kind of similar to the last game. White again has an isolated pawn here on D4. Last game was on D5. I was blockading on D4. Now I'm gonna blockade like on D5 with a knight at some point. Again, he should move the bishop. Yeah. Okay. Alright, B3, H6. Probably should move bishop H4. Maybe he'll take. Not really clear. Should B2. Interesting. I'll pre-move this. Last pre-move worked out so brilliantly that I must pre-move again, obviously. Knight E4. That's a blunder. Three-piece? Let's see, so... Probably play Knight E5 again, yeah. Maybe Rook G3. I mean, he's down a piece, so it's a little bit hard to actually create anything, but it's the most logical move. This one allows Knight C3. Queen c1, I'll just take a rook. Probably he'll take back with a knight, maybe. Maybe not. Not really clear. Let's see. Try to create some threats. Some simple smooths. Victory, something like that at least. So yeah. Okay, yeah, let's see. Right. Oops. Not the... I'm gonna get my knight trap by taking the pawn, but it should finish off the game a little bit quicker. Or it'll finish off the game right away. So let's see. Okay. Again, I really wish I could see his rating before the game started, but such is life. Let's see, so this is going to be a Nimzo Indian. Bishop d2. It's a random move. It'll transpose into something after a few more moves, I think, some other variation. White puts a bishop on d2. c5. Good. Okay, so let's see. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Castles. Put my knight on either square. I'll put it on d7 here. Okay, now I seem to not be lagging as much. So now I'm ready to kill. He could play b4 here. That actually is a pretty good move, probably. Queen c2. He wants to play for e4. I can play e5 or d4. I'll just play d4. Keep it simple. Try and win some material here somehow. Probably knight a4 is objectively best. But also good knight e4, knight d1. Many different moves here. Knight a2 is not one of the moves I was expecting. Oh. Okay. Build my center up so that he can't break it with b4 or e3. Also, I want to go e4 next move. Or c4, knight c5. Well, c4 knight before. Okay, e4, let's see. How to roll everything. Okay, I'll really wanted to play b4 so then I can just play... was that a slip? Probably my rook e2, but then that hangs to bishop takes e2 anyway. Done. Let's just see what he wants to do here. Probably knight c3, rook b8. Just down a plain rook though, so this should be over soon. Okay, so now I'm gonna look for someone a little bit stronger. I'm gonna actually try to challenge someone pretty decent here. Okay, let's see. Challenge some of these guys. Let's see, like, whoops. Let's see if I can play someone like this Claudio. Guy 2600 looks pretty decent. Guy also looks pretty decent. Okay, so I'm gonna play 2580. Let's see what he wants to do here. Okay. Play a Slav. I'll play him like 4 games, I guess, or 6 games. Probably 4. Okay, a6. Many different lines. I'll play e3 against the Chabanenko variation of the Slav. Let's see. Bishop g4. Now that is not the best move as far as I seem to recall. Maybe bishop f3. I'll take queen b7. Rook a7. And I haven't studied this line in too long. 85. Let's see what he wants to do. Now can I maybe play g4 here? Maybe take some g4 or g4 right away. Probably takes, makes the most sense to solidify the center before going in for anything more. Probably he'll take back with the pawn, and then I feel like I should play g4 here. I feel like it, but should I? Or should I play queen a4 maybe? Queen a4, knight bd7, g4, knight g4. Or I can just play something boring like bishop d2 or f3. F3, knight c6. I mean, I really don't want to play boring, so I'll... What to do. Okay, I'll play queen a4. Let's see how he's going to block. Will he block with the knight or the bishop? Probably knight bd7, probably, but not completely sure. Yeah, that's what I expected. Now, bishop b5 is a move. f3 is also a move. I think I like f3 the most. Okay, rook a8. Now I can go g4 here. It's the point behind f3. I kind of want to put some pressure on him because he hasn't developed. He played rook a7, rook a8, so he lost 2 tempi. He hasn't developed anything on his king side over here, so he probably wants to go g6 to develop with bishop g7. You can always play h4. I don't know if h4 accomplishes anything, but I kind of like it, so it looks cool. Doesn't mean it's any good, obviously, but looks cool. Because if he goes g6, I want to go h5, so on bishop g7, I have h6. Okay, but he goes h6, so now, by going h6, I'm just going to go h5, so he can't go g6 and fianchetto his bishop. So now, like, if he takes on his problem is this bishop on e6 is so terrible, because it stops him from playing e6, and his whole king side is kind of, like, shut down, kind of. It's just kind of ugly, really. I expected this, but now on knight d7, which I think his plan was with b4, that I can't go f4 because he'll take the pawn, but now I think I'll play for position. I can go queen a. Actually, no. Why even play positionally? Yeah, let's play queen a4. Play for the initiative right away. So he still hasn't developed anything over here, so he's still in some trouble. Now play knight d4. This is looking really nice. King d8. Now that's an ugly move if I ever saw one. Okay, how best to... Okay, I'll just take this bishop. No need to be fancy. Because now the problem also is when he takes with the pawn, he's got this problem that the bishop in the long term is also kind of dead on f8, which is a rather serious issue for black here. Like a really serious issue, in fact. This is like some kind of really terrible version of like a Hikaru Khan or something. Of course, I do still have to be careful, but if I can get this bishop to g6, he can never play g6, and now his bishop is dead forever, as actually is his rook on h8, so... Now he wants to open it. Do I really want to give him that? Fine, I'll just take it anyway. I'm not too concerned. I'll just play to exchange all the pieces so that in the long term his bishop and his rook here are gone forever. This is pretty ugly. Okay, so he took, I'll take. I want to go queen c4, queen c2. Put pressure on his weak pawns. Probably he'll go queen d5, I would guess, probably. Maybe not, maybe he'll go queen d3, but at any rate, this is all pretty, I could take the pawn on e4, I don't really care though. I just want to go king f2, rook c1, and mate him on the c file. He's a little bit late to the party with rook g8, trying to free his bishop. And now, I have many different ways to win. I'm going to go for this because it's the neatest way. Now he's rooking his bishop are dead forever, basically. This is a pretty brutal way to lose a game. B8, now I'll just pick off his pawn on B4. And I think that's probably he's going to resign here. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected. If I just rematch him, I'll play. I think I'll play him 4 games. Give him a shot. Let's see what he's going to do. I had a 3b6, bishop b7, play a Queen's Indian, something a little bit different in this game at least. Bishop g2, bishop b7. Probably he'll castle, probably, maybe not really sure. Knight c3, knight e4 is solved. You know, in theory, probably bishop d2, maybe queen c2. Maybe he'll take. Yeah, I had this recently actually against Hammer, knight d2, slightly different. Hammer played knight h4 against me. What do I want to do here? Do I want to play c5? How do I want to contest the center here? Or d5 also. d5 looks reasonable. I don't know, I want to play something more interesting, so I'll play for c5 just to keep it a little bit more imbalanced. Probably I'll play d5, I would expect. Can also just move his knight back to f3. He could also take, I guess. Not really in the spirit of the position, but it's a move. So I'll take. Takes, knight c6. Probably queen d3, queen e4, something like that. This is unfortunately very dry. Knight b4, get rid of the weak pawn. Queen b3, I'll play boring. Boring chess. Very boring endgame. Neither side really has an advantage. Probably bishop d2, but maybe I can play bishop f6, although then he has e4. Not very exciting though. Try to create something. He put the bishop on f4, which is a little bit weird. Probably should not have done that. He probably should have put it on d2, because now maybe I can get f6, e5. Create some kind of center a little bit. e4 definitely does not look right though, because now I'm going to go out. Now I'm going to threaten a2 and go for knight d3. But we'll see. Okay, so he's going to go a3, so I'll go knight d3, probably rook c8. I'll pre-move this one. Last pre-move worked well. But see, by going rook b1, now he cedes the whole c file to me. So, I can go e5. I can also go rook c2. Rook c2 allows knight e1, but it looks... rook c4 was also possible. I don't know, I like rook c2, because now he'll probably have to go knight e1, rook e1, maybe bishop c5. b4 definitely does not look right. I think he's starting to lose the threat a little bit. But still, he has knight d4 threats, so I should probably... I'll kick his bishop back. I don't really like it. Doesn't feel quite right, but... try and create some pressure on this queen side here. Rook a1. Okay, so does he want to go rook d1 or not? I don't know if he actually wants to go rook fd1 here, or he doesn't. But I'll double on the c file. Seems like logical move. Probably I'll go rook d1. He's gonna go bishop f8 now. I think I'll go rook c7. I really want to go for knight b2, knight c4, and not give him this d7 square for the rook. That was bad. Or was it? I guess it wasn't. I still have knight c1 to hang on, but I forgot that he had rook d2 in all fairness. So probably rook d5, maybe knight b3, rook b1, and it's kind of not. This is not really what I wanted, but Okay, I'll still play. I'm down on time too, so I kind of need to start moving faster. Could have gone rook c4, also was available. But I think I'll improve my king to e6, then go for rook c4, try to create some threats. Now I'll try and put some pressure on this knight on d2. King f3, knight d4 maybe. King f1 is still here. King f1. You can go rook b1. I'll just take it. And now I'm going to try to do something here. Fix the pawns on dark squares here so that he can't do anything. Of course, I don't really have anything special here, and it's kind of not great. Maybe he'll blunder with a4, I doubt it, but... okay, rook c1. Okay, fine, I'll just take it. Gonna have to flag this guy. Probably I'll play rook c2. Yeah, this is not really how I wanted to win this, but... oh well, can't get lucky all the time. But, what's the time like? It's not gonna get it done. Yeah, well that was disappointing to say the least. Yeah, that was frustrating. That was very frustrating. Alright, I'll play him a few more games. I'll play 2 more and then I'll give him a chance to prove that he can play this line a little bit better than last time. Will he play bishop g4 or will he play one of the other lines? Not really sure. And he wants to play b5. b3 is the main move. I'm going to try and play something a little bit weird to trick him. In fact, I think this is actually going to turn into something very similar to last game. Last game was bishop g4, queen b3, and then he had the option of b5 here. Is b5 c5, then bishop g4, so it's very similar. This is actually known to be quite bad for black, I believe, after knight b5, or am I insane? I think this is known to be quite bad for black. Because now after knight d7, I have c6. No matter which knight he blocks with, actually, c6 is just crushing. Trying to be... play queen a4. I'll just play bishop d2. He'll probably play bishop d6, I would guess, or bishop e7. Not really sure. I'll play queen a4 for some kind of endgame, I guess. Not really so thrilled by any of this. It's just chess. Probably knight b6, queen b3. Maybe a4, maybe not. Okay, queen b8. Maybe he wants to do the Fisher gambit, take on h2. Let me just go for something. Rook c6. Put some pressure on all his pieces since they're so discombobulated. His knight, his bishop, his rook, his queen. At some point I want to go e4. I'm just waiting for the right moment. That moment may have just arrived. Yeah, I think it did. I'll just go for e4, open up some more space on the diagonals, open up everything. Now he grabs the pawn. Now he does grab. Okay, interesting. I'm not so sure this is actually good though. Not really sure. This looks pretty bad. Probably just take on e6. Win. Black's king is maybe slightly safer, but all his pieces are on the back rank, so it's hard to believe he can have anything here. Rook e8. No, I don't want to go d5. That would be terrible. I'll just e7 maybe. Knight f6. He wants to go knight d5, I guess. Really don't want to let him get that, but... okay, so if I move my rook, he has knight d5, knight f4. Play d5, he has queen e5. So I can also just take, I guess. I don't really want to do this. Let's see. Okay, 1:30. I'm still up a little bit of time on the clock. I'll play Queen C4 to stop Knight D5. I don't see any direct threats that he has here. Basically, I just need to move this rook somehow. If I can ever move my rook, then I will be in great shape. Okay, so rook b7, so now rook f6. If he takes on b5, then I take f7. If he takes the rook, I take his rook on e8. Which I think he'll do. That would make the most sense. Or actually, if he takes the rook and I take, and then he takes, I have queen a6 check. So actually, it's just lost here. Okay, so he plays rook b5. Probably just take with the rook. King h6, bishop d2. King h8, rook f8. So he's pretty much in a lot of trouble. Should just be winning. He goes rook g5. I don't really want to take. Maybe I can just go d5, threaten mate on h4. Threaten queen h4, swinging across to mate him. Maybe he has something here, but okay, he just resigned. So I'll give him one more game, and then I'll move on. In this game, I won't play Queen's Gambit declined, or Queen's Indian. Sorry, I'll play something else. Let's go for it. Let's play a Dutch, something that Simon Williams would be proud of. Although actually, he plays the Stonewall, which is not what I play. But I'll try it anyway. Why not? What's the worst that can happen? Maybe I'll lose. That would be such a crime, I guess. d3. Do I want to play d5, c6, d5? Do I want to... Yeah, why not? Just go for it. So far, so normal, I'm going to put a knight on e4, probably at some point. Probably go b6, bishop a6, or b6, bishop b7, depending on what his setup is. Bishop f4, I'll play knight e4. You can always take the bishop. I'll just take back. I mean, probably I shouldn't have played this line because it's actually quite easy for white to blockade the whole position, which means the draw is more likely. But easier said now than it would have been earlier. Okay, takes. I'll take knight e5, knight d7, exchange some knights. This is again looking pretty drawish, unfortunately. f4. f4, interesting. So I can take, I don't have to, I can also play b6. This is interesting. So if I take, he takes with the pawn, e5, rook e1. I don't have any. On the other hand, with b6, b4, a5, a3, rook f8. I think I'll play something different. Try and open up the queen side over here a little bit. Probably he'll play b4, I would assume. What I would expect, at least. Not that he'll necessarily do. Oh, he doesn't want it. Okay, so he doesn't want to play like that. Okay, interesting. In that case, I'll play rook b8. Queen d2, normal looking move. I don't really want to take, but I don't see anything better really, so I'll just do it. Wait, that was actually a very poor premium. Well, he could have taken with the pawn, but realistically never was, so it's not that bad of a premium, I guess. Fortunately, as I said before, the structure does not lend itself to exciting games, so probably going to be more than likely it's going to be a draw here, since I don't think either of us can really do a whole lot. White's definitely better, but a little bit hard to do anything. Okay. Fortunately, I don't really have many options, so I'm just gonna sit back and chill. See what he wants to do. I don't know if he's listening to the broadcast or something, trying to offer me a draw. I'm not gonna give him a draw. I'm gonna try and do something over here on the king side, maybe. Not really sure what, but I'll try and do something. Try and swindle him somehow. Okay, time to attack. Probably king h1, probably. I'm gonna try and swing my rook over to the f file now. Bishop g4, rook e7. Maybe he'll play f5, maybe not. It's a hard decision here. And he can. Not what I would do, but let's see. Okay, so now I'm gonna play rook b5, try and exchange some rooks. Maybe play for h5 at some point, maybe. Depending what he does. Probably he'll exchange, but I'm not sure. So probably he'll take with the pawn, yeah. I'm gonna try and put a rook on g7 and go h5 or something. Try and attack him, although it's gonna be a little bit hard. See, here he can go bishop h3. Yeah, again he's hurdling. Although he just played queen f2, allowing bishop h5, so now I might actually get something. Probably not, but I've got to try. Probably h3, maybe not. I'm gonna try and play something super aggressive, try and really open it up here. See what I can make work. Although I've already got something, by being able to play c5 and open up the structure, this has become something much more serious than it ever should have been. So it's now queen h5, queen d2. I'm gonna move my king. Let's see, e5 probably makes sense. Just make sure there are no targets here so that I can just play normal moves. See what he wants to do. Now, let's see. Go fighting. This is going to be some kind of... see. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be some kind of big time scramble. Although here I am pushing my h-pawn down the board. Oh, what was king b1? Oof, that was a big time scramble. Okay, I'll give him two more and that's it. Last two. Well, let's see if he can defend the Slav. Alright, last two. That's this guy, and then I'll probably go back to playing some more normal guys again. I'm not sure, but too hard playing these top guys. Although I think Daniel is somewhere. Maybe he's gone again. I don't know. Although actually it's summertime, so he's not at college. All right. Guy sure loves to play this b5. I've noticed everywhere he's playing it. e6. Without e6, bishop g4. And now the deep tank. So g6, This might be some kind of obscure theory, actually, now that I think about it. Not certain, though, mind you. Okay, knight f7, f4. Probably he'll take, I would assume. f6, interesting. You can go e5 here. I mean, I'm probably gonna go e5, e4. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that, but it makes some sense. I can also just move the bishop. I mean, it's rather unattractive, but e4 is the move that makes sense. But I'm just gonna be boring. Let's move bishop back, give him e4, play knight d2. Probably he'll play f5, something along these lines. But let's see, so probably he'll play a5, and then I think I'm going to go bishop a3. I think that's my plan. I mean, I can also do some sacks here, but I think I'm just going to play bishop a3, keep it simple. Probably he should take, but he might not. He might go for something else too. Right, so that I think was a mistake, because now I can take on a5, and he's never going to be able to keep the queen side completely closed. Right, so I can play knight b3, bc3, knight a5, cb2. Reasonable. If I play knight b3 first, he can also just move his queen, so it doesn't really make a difference. I'll just put the knight back first. Bishop a6. Probably he'll exchange, I would assume. Queen c7, interesting. What is he trying to do? Okay, I'll just castle. I'll just let him exchange when he wants to. Just keep developing. Basically, I want to play against, open up this queen side at some point, a3, a4, do something over here before he can regroup completely. I might not be able to do that, but with correct play, I probably have nothing here, but correct play is a term that you definitely don't use for Blitz. And I'm going to move my knight to f1, put a bishop on d2. He's trying to attack me over here. I actually didn't realize he could do that. Oh, when he played h6, I'm just like, what is he doing? Is he trying to, what? Okay, now he's going to go h5. I'm going to go knight b1. Only danger here is that all my pieces are on the queen side, but I'm not too worried here since he played rook a7. That means he's going to go rook a8. He's not going to play h5, h4 and try and kill me on the king side. Having said that, I'm going to play bishop d2, put pressure on this pawn. Probably play knight c1 maybe, or just move my queen and attack the pawn. Both look reasonable. I probably wish this knight on b1 somehow doesn't look quite right. But we'll see. And we will see indeed, he's starting to think a lot now. Maybe I'll just play knight c1. Because now if he takes, I'll take, and when he takes, I take, moves his knight, I can move my bishop to protect the rook on b2. Okay, so he really doesn't want to. He wants to do this. But now, oh wait, why did I just play a3? He can just take. What was that? That was kind of stupid. That was really kind of stupid. That was completely unintentional. It was just a blunder. I guess I'll just play some kind of endgame now, unfortunately. I guess he offered me another draw or something, as usual. I'm not going to give him a draw. Not in this position for sure. Not when I can get pieces on the right squares. Probably queen a4, but then I've got knight a2 maybe. Or I can just play boring. King f1, king e1, queen d1. Make sure his queen on a4 is uncomfortable. Now if he goes back, I can go like queen c2 and knight a2 or something. Probably going to play knight a6 here. Or not, or he's going to play like this. Now he's getting himself into a little bit of trouble though, because his queen's going to end up passive. Or not, he's going to play like this. So, wow. Knight c2, how does he protect the pawn here? Knight d5, knight a3. How does he protect this pawn? When he does. Okay, so he's going from put the knight on d3 and hope. but his pieces are all a little bit misplaced here, so I'm going to play knight a2, try to dominate the knight on d3. There's no squares anymore. Exchange the bishops. Bring the knight back to c4. I want to go now, put my knight on d6. Now his pieces are weak too. Probably he'll go king e6 again, I would assume. But yeah, his knights are bad also. So it's like, it's a matter of whose knight is worse, kind of. Whose knights, whose knight, whose knights. It's kind of some kind of weird pun. We can go knight d5 now. But his knight on d3, it looks really pretty, but it's not actually doing anything. So I didn't expect him to go back to b4. And this is getting awfully weird. I don't know why I did that. I shouldn't have taken on c6, but that's still probably winning. It's just not quite how I wanted to play this. Got knight d4, knight takes f5. His pawns are too weak. And of course, again, I make a terrible pre-move. Let's see if I can win this. And did I win it? Even with the lag, I won that. That was pretty bad. That's not one of the greatest hits. That was definitely not one of the greatest hits. Okay, I'll give this guy one more and that's it. Okay, c4, I'll play g6, I guess. Play something a bit different again this time as well. Let's see. What he does in the opening. Yeah, those last two games are pretty close. That last one especially, he a little bit too slow at the very end. He should have run with the king closer to the center, but I mean, easier said than done in the heat of the moment. This kind of turned to some kind of English, maybe? I'm not sure. Let's see what he does. Play something. Some kind of bot Vinnick or something. Probably he'll take, maybe, maybe not. Not sure. Probably 92, yeah. C5, so on f4 I can meet f4 with f5, and then he doesn't get the break that he wants. Probably he'll try and play a3, b4. I mean, or he'll just go f4. But the problem with f4 is now his bishop's closed. This diagonal is no longer open. So he has some problems here. So he's gonna play bishop d2. I don't know if taking is the right move, but it looks like a reasonable move at least. Or I'll play bishop h3. Probably he'll play rook e1 maybe, or rook f2. Bishop g2 would be a very bad move, then I just exchange. Most likely he'll move the rook, and then I'll just play queen d7. I want to go rook e8 next move. Or bishop f5, try and really force the exchange of the bishops, because after bishop f5, if I get bishop f5, then he can't move away because he'll hang the pawn. So here he plays b4. Not too worried about this, because after he attacks the pawn, queen b3 or rook b1, I just go b6. Okay, so he goes back. Now I'm going to put a knight on e3. And the problem here is his bishop's passive, his knight's passive. All his pieces are very passive, and he has weaknesses here. Well, my position is just a dream. By going rook f2 now, he can't even take the knight on e3 because I take the pawn. So queen b3. Now, do I want to play tickle him or no? I'll play rook e6. I could have gone knight g4 to force rook to g2 with rook e6. Still can't take, threatening rook a6. He just played queen a3, which hangs in exchange. So this is probably just going to lose pretty quickly on this piece. So again, they're so passive here that kind of really stuck in a bad spot. I'll try to open it up more. b5 takes. I'll take with the queen. Trying to just open up everything since I do have an extra exchange, and when you have an extra exchange, you definitely want to open up files for your rooks. d3. Bring my bishop into the game now as well. Many different possibilities. I'll just play queen d4. Seems like as reasonable a move as any move, really. So I'm just take. Probably rook d3. I'll play rook e2. Knight d3, rook e2 anyway. So yeah, I think this is pretty much lost for white. Let's see, king h3. Fighting on. I appreciate the spirit. So queen e6. Oh, if g4 h5, he just plays queen takes e2. Whoops. Whoops. I'm gonna sharpen up. So I'll move the rook. I'll just move to e4. Play for h5 next move. Try and exchange some more stuff on the king side. Queen f3. Yeah, I'll play h5 for sure now. Because on f5 I can just take on g4. And if he does something else. Oh, let's see. King g3. I can play queen g4. I think I'll just throw in c4 the extra tempo first since he can't play f5. Let's run this extra tempo. Maybe actually I just go c3 because on bishop c3, rook e3 is just game over. Yeah, okay, this is just over. So, all right. f5, the last gasp. I'll throw in a check. Bishop f4, rook f4, or I can take the rook on a3. I'll just take this one. It's on queen f4. I have bishop e5. I mean, taking the rook on a3 was also completely fine, of course, but they both work. All right, so let's see. So who's up next? Let's see. Okay. I wanted to play this guy earlier. Where did he go? Yeah, okay, so let's see. Right, let's see. Okay, so I'll play knight f3. I seem to be playing knight f3 c4 or knight f3 d4 every game, so why not? c5. I'm going to play a banco because it's a cool opening, and with an extra tempo it has to be a really cool opening. Probably he'll take on e3. Although actually, no, I said banco. This is actually much closer to a Blumenfeld gambit, which normally colors are reversed. This goes something like d4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, e6, knight f3, and then b5. So it's kind of reversed Blumenfeld, but I have an extra tempo. Let's see. So probably he'll take e4. Basically, I'm sacking pawns here, give him an extra pawn on the queen side, but at the same time, I want to create this big center over here. I don't know if a3 is right. I could have played queen a4, also possible, but I just feel like playing traditional. Probably he'll take. I would expect him to take. I'll take with the bishop. Play knight c3, castles. Pretty standard stuff so far. So I'll play knight c3, maybe queen e2, maybe h3, do something, create something here in the center. He has to figure out how to develop. If he wants to play bishop g4 and exchange the bishop for the knight, play b6, bishop b7. This is also reasonable, although I think it's slightly wrong. I'm not quite sure. How do I exploit this? e4, bishop b7, e5 maybe? I'll go for it, why not? Probably just really exploit the center here. So on bishop b7, play for e5. Just play knight g4. I can go knight d5 maybe. Don't have to. I mean, I can just play pure gambit style, or I mean, like pure like Joe Baba style. Just play e5 and just do a free exchange. Why not? I'll just go for it. No reason to hold back. Probably knight e3, queen e2 takes, rook f1, bishop b7, and maybe d5 or bishop e4. But basically Joe Bob style. So he's deep in the tank now. So let's see, what's he gonna do? Knight c6, that seems like a strange move. Bishop e4. It's kind of strange. I don't know, I'm not a big fan of this idea. Because now I can also just move my queen on d3, d2. d2 runs into bishop h6, so probably queen d3, and I think I'm holding everything together. I don't think he can sack on e5. He can, but that doesn't seem like the best try. So yeah, and so I see someone just said I'm not in my chat on my channel. So yeah, so I just popped up and toggling. I'm not actually toggling. I don't. Oh, did I actually open that in the wrong window? Whoops, my mistake. Sorry. I opened that in the wrong window. Oops. Let me focus on winning this game first, and then that was a mistake. Let me I'll play h3, attack that. Okay, so now let's see. Okay, I can take the knight. Always there. I really want to play d5 and just crush him in the center, but it's not really there right now, so I'm just gonna have to play normal moves. Yeah. So he plays knight a5. I mean, probably. Yeah. Now I'm gonna get what I want, kind of. I mean, I'll play knight d5, something like this at least. Pretend that it looks good. I've got a bunch of knights in the center. How bad can it be? It looks really good, even though it's probably not. I can do this. I don't really want to, but I'll do it. It makes sense. Yeah. Okay, f6. Because I am getting a little low on time, lower than I'd like to be, so I'm gonna play like more traditional. Put the knight in e3, play d5, c5. Got these bad pieces on the king side. The knight here, this bishop. I mean, they're all a little bit kind of misplaced here. So c5 seems like a good try. Knight f5. I could take. I could also not take. I'll just play d5. d5. Of course, now I have to watch my time since I'm talking too much again. So I'll take knight c4. Probably knight d6. Not sure. Knight d6. I'll go g4. On knight d4, I'll just take. Take, and I'll just take, and I'll go knight e3. And his bishop here on the square is so horrendous. I think I can just take. Queen a3, queen g4. And I think he's kind of lost, maybe. Queen c5, king h1. Yeah, I think he can't do much here. All right, so let's see. So, okay. Who will I play next? Someone else. Dinosaur 81. Maybe. Or not. That's what I thought, except from, yeah, okay. So, as I was saying before, yeah, so I am back in the chat as well. I'm not I am back in the chat and playing as well. So I might see some of the comments. I'm not going to see a whole lot of them. As most people I play, I'm not going to be able to spot them a minute and a half on the clock. I learned my lesson about spotting guys on the clock earlier today when I lost to that 2100 guy. So. All right, let's see. So far, okay, this is a Rogozin. I'll play queen b3. Many moves. Queen a4 is a move. Bishop g5, e3, cd5. They're all pretty decent. Queen b3, of course, is also a move. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stop looking at the chat when I start saying things like can't spot time on the clock to 1300. Yeah, well, maybe in this game I can, not all the games. Anyway, all right, so let's see. So probably castles here. Taking on c3 is not the best move. In theory, black's supposed to probably play c5. That's considered the best move. So castles. If this was a classical game, I'd probably use 10-15 minutes trying to figure out why this is so dubious, but in Blitz game, I don't have the luxury, so I'll just play some normal moves. Probably he'll take here, maybe not. Not really sure. Let's see. Okay, so he's thinking here, c5, good move. This is actually transposed back into something. I think there's actually some kind of theory, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll see. Okay, so ed5, so now I'll take this knight. Probably supposed to take with the queen. I'm figuring he's not going to, just seeing that it hangs the d5 pawn. c4 is not correct. I can just take and then just move my bishop away, so I'm going to move to e7. So let's see what he's going to do here. All right, so let's see. So rook e8, bishop a3. So ba2. I can take the pawn. I'll just ignore. I'll play e3. Play something more on the. Just develop my pieces first, since I can always take this pawn later. So let's see what he's going to do here. And when I look down off to the side, I'm just looking at my phone, looking at some Skype messages. I just got a message from someone who works for chess.com. They asked if I want to play them an odds game on the stream. And I think I will. So I'll wait till after this game, and I'll let him start the game. I'll explain more about that in a second. Let me just finish off this game first. Okay. So f6, bishop b4. See what he's going to do. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to play 2 games against this guy. I'm giving him 3-piece odds. I gave him 3-piece odds I think about 2 weeks ago maybe. And I beat him I think I beat him 2.5, 1.5, I think it was. I think I won 2 games, he won 1, and we drew 2. So I'm going to try and beat him playing 3+2. Let's see what he can do. I'm going to have to be very fast, of course, because if I'm not fast and he has too much time to exchange pieces or things, then I'm going to end up losing pretty badly. So I've got to be kind of fast. I also have to make sure he has no clear path. He has no super clear ideas about how to play. Like here, I'm not committing to castling. I'm leaving all my pawns here in the center. I'm waiting for him to decide which way he's going to castle. And most likely I'm going to go the other way. If he goes long, I'll probably go short. If he goes short, I'll probably go long, just to increase the odds of something happening. Of course, he just played knight e2, which is kind of annoying. He wasn't supposed to play like that. But he took on c5. He didn't go c3, so there is some hope still. Okay, so he played c4. I can take on b2, I guess. I don't know if I want to. But yeah, I'll take it. A pawn is a pawn after all. It does matter. And now he can't go long, so he's going to have to go short. And having played h4, he might be hesitant now to castle, since he's going to see that he's getting attacked as well. So we'll see how he's going to play this. But so far, this is looking pretty good. His ideas are not super obvious. I mean, they are obvious enough, but they're not super obvious. And if it's so much stronger, they would just sack on g5. I don't expect him to, however. So he just played bishop c4. Now I can go b5. And if he moves the bishop, I'm going to go c4, trap the bishop, and that's one piece back already. Ooh, rook b5. Whoa, getting aggressive, man. Getting aggressive. What is this? That was not best way to play. Because now, I mean, he still has, I guess he still has 3 pieces for my rook, but it's not clear what he's doing. And again, he's gonna be hesitant to castle kingside because he's gonna see that I've got g4 type moves. A pawn is hanging. There are a lot of different things here. I mean, I want to take on a2, but then he takes my pawn on c5 and he checkmates me. Rook a2, bishop takes c5, queen c5, queen d8 was checkmate. So I kind of have to move my king and avoid that kind of nonsense. Okay, so we played a4. I'll put my king over in the corner. Maybe go g4 next move. Probably just move this rook first before I do anything else. Probably he'll put a... I don't know what he'll do. Maybe he'll play e5, put a bishop on d3 to check me with e5. Not entirely sure that this is the best way to play for him. I mean, probably it's more realistic to sacrifice a bishop for some pawns than to sacrifice a rook. And now he's going just crazy. I don't know why he's doing this. It's always great when it works and you're the hero. But when it doesn't work, it's you definitely are not gonna be a hero today, man. So I mean, he's already given back 2 pieces, and in fact, I'm not even sure. If I was playing a really good player, it would still be better for white, but against someone who's a little bit weaker, I'm already not sure that this is what I would even consider this to be better for them if they had the white pieces here. Against a really strong player, of course, white would still be much better. But this is getting a little bit tricky. I played queen c5. He has to block the queen, or he can walk into this. Now it's getting really ugly. Getting ugly in a hurry. He still has knight g1. He still is fighting, kind of. I mean, fighting is a general way of putting it. I mean, he's going to go king e3, and I don't have to play queen e1, but I just want to play queen e1, force it into an endgame. And I figure probably I should win this without any issues. Just a clean exchange here. So king d2, I'll move my rook over to a1. And I'm just, in fact, somehow I've ended up just up an exchange here. I guess he's got 2 pawns. Okay, f5 is a good move. What's the best way to play? I'll just check him, throw in a check. You can check, you might as well. So king d3, I'll throw in another check. Maybe he goes king c4, maybe not. Or he can go king e2, the rook d2. But this has not worked out the way that I think he was hoping it would have for Pete. Probably king f4, e5, king g4. I mean, he still can hope, but this is not really what I think he was hoping for at all. King h3. Now I do have to be slightly careful. This king f8 does get me mated to f6. So king g7, knight e6, king f6 moves the knight away. King f6. And yeah, so he has nothing here, so he's in a lot of trouble. Now, because my king's on f6, I'm going to swing the rook to h8 with check next move, and it will have all worked out beautifully. Oh, knight c7, good try. He wants to go knight d5 with me, but unfortunately I have this check first. And after king g4, there are a couple ways I can play. I think I'll just play the safe way, just exchange the rooks. Not allow any shenanigans here, like king h5, I take king f3, I think he walks into mate 1. So that wasn't ideal. Okay, round 2. Again, I'm gonna play the same setup. If I had a light square bishop, I would put it on the on the diagonal too. Like if I had this bishop on c8, I would go b6, bishop b7 as well. In previous games, I tried e6 and moving the bishop on the f8, a3 diagonal along this diagonal. But then they were always able to put a bishop on d3, and there was too much pressure along this long diagonal towards h7 on my king. So I kind of abandoned that idea. So let's see if I can win again. So he's probably going to play a very similar setup. I'll kind of play the similar like waiting game. And we'll see what he does. Basically, the point is to just make sure there are no obvious targets, make sure the game goes on. Fortunately, it's knight d5 here, which I forgot about. But he didn't see it, so that's always a good start. There's knight e4. I guess I have to go king h7. I don't really want to, but I kind of have to just hang in there, just protect as much as I can. Rook e1 could be a rather serious problem, but I'll try and hang on with d5. Bishop h6, I'll just take the knight. If he checks, okay, he didn't check, so now I can move my... Oh, why did I go there? Bishop f4. Ugh. That was not best. I mean, there are many ways in which white is winning here. Hopefully he doesn't find any of them. Okay, he played c3. This is going to be a bit tough here. I mean, to hang on will be extraordinary if I can, just because it's not only that I am down pieces, but everything's a little bit open, and I have a problem avoiding exchanges. That is going to be a big problem here. Like here, I'm going to have to play bishop f8 now. He's got things like knight h5, all kinds of ugliness coming, or queen f4. This one I probably won't hold on in, but I'm going to try. Maybe I can get lucky here. Maybe. I wouldn't count on it, but maybe. Maybe being the word. Very unlikely, I would say. Very unlikely. It's just too... The position's too static. If it was maybe one piece and it was like this kind of structure, I might survive, but with 3 pieces, there's almost no way, unless he just like goes insane and hangs something. So let's see, so b3, so gotta try and break the structure, create something. Not gonna work, obviously. Okay, so he played c4, so he's trying to get a little bit creative here. I mean, he's obviously winning, but messing up the structure while still winning, I mean, you never know. He could always take with the queen here on d4, for example. Not that I expect him to, but he could. And he did! Oh, he did! He fell for it! I don't believe this. Oh, I don't believe this. He fell for it. Now this is going to get interesting. That's going to be like 4 pieces against a queen. This is going to be very interesting. I mean, obviously it's completely lost, but I do have a queen. He only has 4 pieces. It's only 4 pieces after all. 4 pieces is not a lot. You need more than 4 pieces to beat a queen. And I'm being facetious, of course. You do not need more than 4 pieces to beat a queen. But at least I have a fighting shot now. I mean, I did not have a fighting shot before, but there's always a chance he could hang something here, because it's like the pieces are really close together here, but he could hang something. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I need to get him a little bit lower on time, but like if he moves a knight to e5 or something, then he walks into like queen d2 check or queen f4 check, or there are some tricks here, so it's not trivial. I don't know how to. The problem is, how do I create anything? I'm gonna try queen f4. It's kind of dangerous. Put my queen in the middle here with all these pieces in the center here and all these forks around it. But okay, so we played bishop c6. So I'm gonna go to f7. See if maybe he'll check me on d6. I'm not actually sure. Knight d6, king e6 maybe. I mean, I'm trying to make sure I don't get my queen in. I have to keep my queen far away from my king, and I have to make sure he can't just mate me with the 4 pieces. If I can, basically all there is to it. And so let's see. So knight e5. So I'm gonna play king f6. I'm basically just keep it far away and hope that he blunders something. Of course, if he just keeps all his pieces clustered together, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I can't pick off a piece, but even though I can't pick off a piece, I'm gonna get some checks now. I'm gonna pick up a pawn in a2. There's some vague possibilities that I can swindle now, because it's gonna be hard to just leave your pieces here on the center of the board and do nothing. So we want bishop d4. I'll go king e6. Again, just sticking with the theme of keeping my king like super far away from my queen. Is kind of all I can do here. I could have gone king d6. I mean, this is of course, very tricky. Obviously, this is probably losing somehow, but I'm gonna try and check him, see what he does. Is he gonna go for a draw? No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to draw. Now I'm gonna go to mate him. I'm gonna play Queen G3 and mate him. Very, as I said before, it's dangerous having the queen so close to the king. There are all kinds of dangers of forks, but I don't actually see any forks right now. And if he checks, I'll go King E4 maybe. King G6. It's, I mean, very iffy, but he goes Knight H4. Oh. Be so careful here not to walk into a fork. It's like insane. Okay, so King D6. He has Knight F5 here. King C7. Okay, so he goes there. Gonna put my queen closer. Maybe he'll go check. This is very hard to play. The one thing I do have is I'm up on the clock now. So I'm up on the clock. And now he let me get an E8-5. So now it's game on. He let me activate my now I have counterplay for sure. Whether he can hold on and not, I mean, lose this now actually is really the question. Whoops, that was a slip. I meant to go B3. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll a pawn B3. Maybe you can play Knight B4. I mean, a strong player would still hold this quite easily, but he doesn't have any time. And Knight B6 now is Knight out of play. There's no harmony there. King E8, Bishop H5 is tricky, so I'm gonna have to play King 7. Maybe I have to run with my king closer. Again, I don't really like doing this, but he'll probably check me. Or Knight B4. I'll play Queen C4. If Knight F5, King E5. Bishop F4, I'll go King C5. He only has Knight A6 check, so Knight A6, King B6, and now his pieces are all out of play. They're all like not harmonized. Knights are on both E6, H4, and now I've got to pass pawn. And this, I had Queen C8, or no, Queen C8, Bishop G4. This is always tricky, but I don't think he can stop me here from queening, queening the second pawn. At least I don't think he can. Okay, Bishop D2, I go B4. And I mean, the funny thing is, even without these, even I think even this position probably, without Knight F5, was probably still kind of okay maybe for, based on practical play. I'm not actually sure, but just out of pieces. Okay, so who next? Okay, I'll play as Misu. Okay, so D4, I'll play Knight F6. Let's see what he's gonna do. C4, E6 probably. Knight C3, Bishop B4. Playing some kind of a Nimzo. I'll castle. Knight G2. Pretty much anything's fine. C5, D5, Rook E8. B6 even probably is okay. Yeah, this is just pretty standard. D5. CD5. I can take either way. I'll just take with the pawn for the moment. Probably Bishop E2, I would expect. Yeah, Knight C6 maybe. Or I can play H6. Both moves are reasonable. I'll play something a little bit more interesting, more creative. I'll try Knight E4. Maybe he'll take, maybe he won't take. He doesn't take, so take. And Knight C6. Just develop Bishop F5 next move, probably. Bishop F5, Rook C8. Along these lines, that's probably my plan. Okay, someone in the chat just said play a Bongcloud. I don't know what opening that is, but someone can probably enlighten me on that topic. Alright, so Bishop E6. I'm probably going to go Knight A5, Rook C8, try and put pressure on these weak pawns, this weak C3 pawn, and if I can get a Knight to C4, that's pretty good. And at the same time, I don't know any weaknesses over here. So white has 2 bishops. White has some pawns over here that aren't perfectly placed. So looking good so far. Queen d3. I'll play queen d7 just so that I can play bishop f5 and tickle his queen here on d3 if I need to. I also threaten to play bishop g4, maybe force an exchange of the light square bishops. With h3, I'll go back to the original plan. Play knight a5 now. So what the Bongcloud is e4 king e2. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for for another game. Okay, queen d2, knight b3. Let's see. So I just want to exchange here, knight a1, rook a1. I'll take a pawn here on c3. So this is already pretty bad. I don't think it's isn't much that white can do here. The next game I'm going to play a Bongcloud, I guess, assuming they cooperate. I don't know what they can. Maybe if someone plays e4 d5, I can't really do it, or e4 knight f6. But if I get someone who doesn't do that, then I'll try it. I'll try it, and I'll see if it works out. And guy says I would donate $5 for a Bongcloud game. Okay, you guys. Okay, queen f4. Okay, rook h3. Yeah, this will be over soon, and we'll get to see some some funny openings pretty soon, I think. f3. So he wants to trap my rook here. I can just bring it back to h6, bring it back to e6 or c6. Just put it on e6, double on the e file. So rook c1. I'll play rook c6. No, rook e6 is fine too, but I don't feel like giving him counterplay. If I can exchange rooks here with the rook against the bishop, it's pretty bad. And the bishop here isn't doing anything. It's not attacking any pieces. It's just kind of sitting here in the corner all alone. So okay, so bishop g3. I'll just play h6. No need to go crazy. I'll try and finish this off pretty quickly so I can play the Bongcloud. So let's see. Okay. King g2. I'll play rook e2. Probably I'll go king h3 here, I would assume. Many different ways of playing this. I think I'll just put the queen on d5. Very solid move. Stop the pawn from ever pushing, from coming down the board. Gets a check, but basically no real counterplay here, and that's what I want to do. Or I'll play h5. Takes, I'll just take the pawn. g5, it's always a move, I guess. We'll just play g6. If he goes queen f6, I'll play queen e6, force an exchange with the queens, and then my rook will just beat the bishop in the end game. Maybe you can go king h4, maybe not. Not really clear. Queen c7, I can take or I can check. I like check more. Check king h4. King h4, maybe I can play this really cute idea. Rook e4, when he takes, I have queen g4 with checkmate. So, and he resigned before I could do it. That's disappointing. Oh, this is not what I wanted to play. I didn't want to play bullet. I thought I was clicking the other game. All right, 1 second. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. There's the next challenge from the reload. Okay, there we go. Okay, here we go. E4. Is he gonna cooperate? He is gonna cooperate. Let's see it. And now he's all confused, I think. But let's see it. Thanks, man. Okay, so far I've got I have a position that's not just lost. That's already a good accomplishment, all things considered. I'm not really sure how I'm going to improve my position. I can play rook e1. This actually turned into something resembling a decent position. Don't even ask me why, but it has. Even though it should not have. I mean, if I could get this position every game, maybe I would start playing the Bongcloud. But I don't think I'm going to get this lucky most of the time. Okay, b4, put my king on the square it was supposed to be on in the first place. Probably I'll take bc3. This position looks pretty decent, knight d7. I don't know if d4 is the best move, but I'll try it. Most likely he'll exchange on c3 and then d4, maybe not. I mean, I guess it depends. Oh, he did, okay. We took, I'll take back. Maybe queen b6, bishop e3. Yeah, this has worked out really well. This is a good opening. I should play it more often. Really good opening. Okay, so queen b3. So actually, this is weird. So this guy is like trying to play like normal chess against me. He's trying to play as solid as he can, which is very, very strange considering the first two moves that I made. So probably knight b4, maybe not. That would make the most sense, but still, even after knight b4, I'm doing completely fine. Knight b4, maybe bishop f2, knight d3, rook e3 takes king f2. I mean, black is maybe slightly better, but nothing more, I would think. Okay, I was going to go rook a1, that allows knight b4. Probably not quite right. I can try e5, I don't know if I want to, but I'll go for it. Now goes knight b4. I do have bishop f1 maybe. I think it's what I'll do. Just play bishop f1, force exchange. Yeah, takes knight c2, bishop f2. Nothing special here, but I'm definitely not worse, I would say. I mean, probably maybe very slightly worse, but nothing more. Knight c2. I could go king f2, but then rook c3 takes. I'll try. Why not? Why not? It is the Bongcloud. I might as well bring my king back towards the center. That's where it belongs, as the theory of this opening shows. Knight b6, maybe rook fc1, knight d5 I can take. Oh, it's just knight e3. I could also play rook takes b6 here, which is really kind of weird. I think I'll do it, actually. I don't know if it's the best move, but it's interesting. Now he's probably should just play knight d5. I mean, I think he would play knight g4 here, but this is actually surprisingly tricky now. And now, I mean, now I have absolutely no problems here at all. So those who are asking, I didn't actually set up a donate yet. I'll figure that out. This is my first stream, so I'm not that familiar with certain options. But I'll set it up for you guys. Okay, so h6. I mean, I don't really want to grab this free pawn on d6, but I think he's kind of forcing me to, so I might as well just take it. I didn't want to. I kind of wanted him to take on e5, but he's going to just give me this extra pawn and force me to take it, then I will. Okay, let's see. So knight b4, so he wants to go knight d3 or something. I can take knight d3, king d1, knight f2, draw. I mean, drawing is not allowed. This is a Bongcloud. Bongcloud games don't end in draws. Okay, knight d3, knight e5. Bishop e5, not probably the best move, because now he helps me make my structure whole again. Okay, so probably rook h2. I don't know, maybe not. It's not so obvious.
but I'm not sure what he'll do here. So I guess we'll just wait and see.
Okay, so rook h2. And let's see.
What was that? Okay.
What was that?
Sorry.
I think I'm checkmating him on one move, maybe? Do you have anything? Rook f2, king g1. Or not? Okay, so I don't know what happened there. There's some kind of weird lag. I guess that's checkmate. That was really kind of weird. I don't know what happened there. That was really weird. All right, I'll play someone else now.
1 second.
That was really weird. That was just some kind of weird lag that just snuck up on me out of nowhere.
Really weird. Second, check, make sure it's playing, still going good.
All right, okay. All right, let's see. Okay, so I will play. Who is tanky?
Just told me to play them. I don't see a challenge.
Looking through the challenges. Let me see if there's who's gonna challenge. Okay, there we go. Okay, so next game against okay, CK 1886. Bishop f4, g6. I'll play King's Indian this game against this London. Knight c3. Okay, so he wants to play e4. So this is actually turned into a pure modern type of move. Play a6, bishop h6. Probably takes, maybe not. Depends what my opponent's looking for.
We'll see.
Let's see. Castles, b5. Pretty standard. Just want to play b4, undermine the e4 pawn, so when the knight moves, I can play knight takes e4. Probably f3, maybe e5, e5, b4 probably. I kind of would expect some kind of e5 maybe. Sure enough, I know absolutely nothing. As we see, plays bishop d3. And let's see, f3. Play h. I don't really want to move my h pawn, but I think I'll do it. I don't want to have to deal with bishop h6 here, even though it's not really that big of an issue. I just don't feel like dealing with it at this moment in time. So I'll play h6. Obviously e5, knight d5, e6 could be strong. Probably not, because e5, knight d5, e6, f5, but definitely not ideal. So I'm going to start playing some hyper modern stuff. Move the knight to d7, play for c5 or knight b6. Something along these lines, something like this, I think. So let's see, knight e2, and I'll go c5. Takes, I'll just take back with the pawn. Try and play for c4, trapping this bishop on d3. Maybe not, I'm not really sure, but we'll see. Takes. Maybe knight d5 is a possible move, but in general, I'm threatening c4, so there's some dangers here for sure. So let's see, what's he gonna do here? Just waiting for a move. Maybe he'll just move the knight to g3. Maybe not. It's a little bit hard to
to deal with the c4 threat here.
Okay, so he does play knight g3 as expected. I'll play c4, why not? Force the bishop back. I could play b4 here. I think I want to play more traditional, just queen a5. Try to create some threats against this queen side all over here. It's a little bit not really clear what he's trying to do. Maybe he'll go king b1. Maybe I'll go b4, knight d5, c3, for example, or king b1, maybe just like, I don't know, maybe e5? Maybe e6? Okay, so he plays bishop b8, but he's not threatening mate. I am covered. I'll just take. My queen on a5 is covering d8, so he doesn't have a mate here. I actually think taking on b8 was probably a rather serious mistake. Doesn't seem quite right. So let's see. Okay, knight d5. I really don't want to have to exchange queens, but queen d8 allows knight f6, queen a2 allows knight c7. I could try c3 if I really want to. You know, why not? Let's have some fun. There's no reason not to. If he takes, I'm just going to castle, and then I'm just going to play as though nothing happened. I assume he'll play knight c3, but maybe not. Ooh, bc3. Wow, ballsy. Okay, let's take. Probably queen d5, I would expect, and I'm just gonna castle. I'm not too afraid of anything here. In fact, he actually has to take with the queen, and I'm just gonna castle. I'm not too worried. Let's see, maybe queen a1, queen a3, check. Probably should take the rook. I don't see a mate right away, but it's obviously very hard to do that. And now I'm just gonna play rook c8. I'm just gonna crush him on the c file. That's my plan, at least. Knight d7. Knight c5. He could have taken my knight, then I was gonna go rook c3 and rook c8, just double up the rooks on c file. It just resigns. Okay. Okay, finally I played this guy. I thought I accepted this guy's challenge like an hour ago or something, but let's see. So, all right, a Dutch, a Norwegian playing a Dutch. I feel like there should be a joke in there somewhere, but I can't think of it right off. Of course, Magnus himself has played the Dutch a few times, so. So b6 castles. So some kind of Leningrad Dutch here. Play knight c3. Maybe knight c6, c6, queen e8, many different moves. Just say knight c6 to d5. Probably knight e5. I myself have played knight a5 as black a few times. One thing about this knight e5 line is this leads to some very strange pawn structures where both sides have weird kind of clamps on white has some pawns on the queen side, black has some kind of weird king side pawn majority too. So this does lead to some rather strange pawn structures. Maybe e4, maybe queen e8, e6. E6 is a move, but I feel like e6 is slightly wrong. Queen b3. I mean, I know e6 is definitely a playable move, trying to create the right structure, but anyway, let's see. Okay. Queen e7. I'll just play bishop g5. Play simple chess. Keep it simple. Probably you should play e4 here. Close down this really strong diagonal for my bishop and everything. I like rook d8. I'll just play rook d1. I'm just gonna keep delaying until the absolute last possible moment what I have to do here, just to keep it complex. Okay, so now he did play e4. Now, that was not quite right. I just hung a pawn on c5 with check. But it's not the end of the world, actually. E3, bishop f3. Yeah, so queen c5, king h1 maybe. It's not actually clear that it's so bad. So he didn't actually see it. He played king h8, so I'll play queen c4. If he takes, I'll play knight takes d5. If he plays e5, maybe e4, maybe something else. So he played e5, e4. Let's see. So fe4, knight e4. Yeah. H6, I'll just take. Someone just said, don't pay attention to the chat. Clearly, I'm paying too much attention to the chat because I'm getting too low on time in most of the games. But it is fun to look every so often. Okay, so bishop f6, I'll play b4. See what he wants to do here. A little bit tricky for black to play this position. Okay, so f4, reasonable move. I don't really want to take on f4. Also just play d6 maybe, or I can just completely ignore it and go like g4. I mean, g4 looks dubious, but I'll do it anyway, just because. Just to worry about something like h5 or bishop h4, h5 or bishop h4, queen g5, some kind of attack on the king's side. Not that it's realistic in a sense, but it could occur. Of course, he's clearly listening to me, so I should not be telling the people who are watching on the channel what to do. So he heard me, but I did put my rook on d2 so that I could meet this queen g5 with rook g2 and stop any kind of threats, because now he can't go h5, and now his bishop on h4 is stuck as well. So now I can continue with the free hand over here on the queen side, which I will of course do. Most likely he'll take. Maybe he'll go back to c8, maybe not. But this is going to get pretty ugly now, because now all his pieces are on the wrong side of the board. Everything's kind of offsides now, whereas before there was some harmony. So it goes back queen e7, and I'll just play rook d1. Maybe a6, maybe not, I'm not sure. But I'll just play d6, force him to take. I'll take with a knight. And I want to use this pass c pawn. Rook d8. A c7, rook d6, queen d6, c8, queen. I don't see it. Or on rook d6, I can also just queen my pawn, now that I think about it. Okay, so let's see. So who's up next? All right, so next game. So e4, I'll play e6.
Let's see.
Play b6. I'll play something weird. I'll play something really weird. I'll play one of these, what's this opening called? Not the French. I'll play this, the Nimzovich or something. No, that's the wrong one. This is, can't remember. Alright. Anyway, I've played this quite a few times on chess.com before, so I'll play it again. Let's see how it works. Knight f3, bishop b4. Bishop d3, I'll play knight f6. Maybe e5, maybe not, maybe queen e2. I don't actually know who I'm playing against. I don't know if this is one of the up-and-coming US girls who played in the US Championship or not. I can't actually tell. But anyway. Queen d5, probably castles. I'll play an endgame here. As we know, As the good old saying goes, kids don't know how to play endgame, so just make sure to exchange queens and get into an endgame, and we'll beat them. They only know tactics,
Of course, nothing else.
Oh, and of course, those people in the chat remind me, duh, it's the Owens defense. Obviously, I can't think straight. Sorry about that, being so ignorant. So queen f3, queen f3, g f3. It's actually not ideal for white here because two sets of double pawns. You still have two bishops, but two sets of double pawns. It's a little bit nasty. Not quite ideal. Now here I could have just taken and gone knight a5, knight c4, but I don't really feel like it. I figure it's there. I can kind of wait. I don't have to take the bishop right away, if at all. If I don't want to take, I'll just move the rook and put my knight on c4 anyway. So bishop f4, play knight a5. Maybe d5 here. I think on d5 I can just take with a knight, or even just simpler take with a pawn. Maybe bishop d3 is a move here. Makes some sense. White's still probably okay, but nothing to write home about. So sure enough, d5 is played. I'll take. Probably bishop d5. I'll just take. Take rook d5, king c6. Probably something like rook d1, rook e7, and or I can just take rook d5, king c8. Even it's actually king c8 makes more sense. Just to so that on rook d1 I can play rook d8. And I'll play rook d8 and go straight for an endgame. So let's see. Rook d4, knight c6. So let's see. So rook d3. Sorry about that. I'll play rook d8.
Yeah.
d7, rook e7, probably rook e7, knight e7. Rook d5. Now I can play rook d8 and force the exchange. As long as I don't undouble some pawns here, I should be doing quite well. If I undouble the pawns, white is probably okay. So basically, I just want to force exchanges, but without. If the rook's on d3, I take that, I undouble the pawns there. And if and so basically, I want white to exchange the piece. I want white to undouble everything. I don't know if white's going to do that or not, but we'll see. And actually, here white's going to have to, because if white plays rook c1, then I will take. Yeah, he can take the pawn in a2. So maybe rook d8, knight d8, something like this. Maybe not, but I'm going to get the version that I want of all this. So rook d2, I'll exchange, and I'll exchange, and there's a, and we're going to see that double pawns are not a good thing. Double pawns are a bad thing, especially when you have two sets of them. If you only have one set, it's probably okay, but two sets of double pawns with a knight against bishop is really quite miserable. Because also the other problem here is the whites can't attack my pawns really. Anytime you have a bishop against a knight, if I can put my pawns on the opposite color of the bishop, it's going to be really unpleasant. And the bishop can't attack any pawns. White has two sets of double pawns. So it's pretty ugly. Okay, so a4. I'll throw in a check. I want to bring my king in now to c4. I'll play b5. Try to exchange pawns. And now I actually have another. Now there's another problem for white, that I also have an outside pass pawn here too. So this is not going to be good. And now I'll just play f5 to make sure there are no entry squares for the king, and now his a pawn is just going straight down the board. So let's see who's up next. Okay, so let's see. Someone wants a king's gambit next. Someone wants a king's gambit. Okay. Ooh, this guy looks like a real player. 2309. Okay, serious guy. Okay, fine.
Let's see it.
Okay, so he played knight d4 to force my king back. It's okay. I mean, I probably would not actually play like this if I was black. I'm gonna get this extra tempo with c3. The only problem is because I moved my king, I'm gonna have some problems here. That's the only issue that I foresee. He could play bishop g4, maybe. I mean, he's trying to be funny. I'm gonna play bishop b5 right back at him. So when he takes, I'll just take his bishop. And now I've somehow, again, accomplished something that I should not have. Maybe after c3 you can play queen e6 or something. But this still is already looking better than it should. That's for sure. So maybe this opening is legit. And okay, if he's going to play like this, then I've completely equalized. Completely equalized with black out of the opening, or with white out of the opening.
That's a good thing.
Okay, so we're going to play some kind of weird endgame here. Maybe, we're going to see if he wants to play e5 or e6, how he's going to finish his development. I'm not really sure. I mean, he wants to put his king on c8 also. That's the other thing. I can play e5 here. If I don't play e5, he's probably going to play e5 back, so I kind of have to. So let's see. So knight d5 maybe. Knight d5 or knight g5. Yeah, let's go for it. Basically, I want to force him king e8, and then I'll play e6. Now he's going to have to take. And now I'm going to get an extra pawn. Rook d6, knight c5. Wow, this has turned out beautifully. Oh, this is just beautiful. This is as much as you can ask for. So b6, I cannot go knight e4. I really wanted to, but that makes me a little bit unhappy. But I'll just go back to b3. For people who are asking about the watches, one of the watches I'm wearing is a Fitbit on my right hand. I tend to wear that most of the time, not always, but most of the time. And then on my other hand, I am actually wearing a Rolex, but it's a Rolex I got as a gift. So no, Litecoin. I did well on Litecoin, but Litecoin did not pay for the watch. f5, maybe knight e7, maybe bishop e7. He'll do something here. Of course, I realize the problem here is also that black has also moved his king, so he thinks he's going to castle, which is all nice and fine, but he can't. So, like, I think his bishop e7, he was just thinking, I'm just going to castle and I'm just better. But, aha, you better slow down. You can't quite castle. So rook d8, rook f1. In fact, this has turned out really nicely now. This is just, this is a dream. All I have to do is basically figure out how to activate this bishop, and then I'll be home free pretty much. So he plays a5. I'll just play a4, stop it from doing anything over here. Knight f6. I could take the knight. I'll just play knight d2 for now. I don't really see any reason not to. Taking in bishop e3 was also pretty strong, but I'd rather keep. I really like this knight outpost on e4. Knight g4. Knight g4 was kind of mean. He wasn't supposed to do that. Knight f3, rook f5. I guess I'll just play knight c4. I'm not crazy about the way that about what's happened. I should have just taken the knight on f6, but I forgot about this move. So such is life. Such is life. So rook h1, probably knight f3 maybe. I can go king e2 and bishop e3. I don't know what's best, but I'll try it. So rook f5 and bishop e3. Because if he plays knight d4, I just take king f2. But after rook f5, he's threatening to put a knight on d4. I need to put a bishop on e3 to prevent that, so that he doesn't have any knight d4 nonsense. But at the same time, all his pieces are, again, like, kind of not harmonized at all. This knight and this rook aren't quite right. Doesn't have his knight d4 tactic, and now when he goes knight g5, he hangs a fork on d6. So let's see what he's going to do. Fighting on, but there's not really much left to fight on for. I'll just take the pawn. Take another pawn, put a rook on h1, try to mate him on the 8th. You can go king e8, knight f6, pretty ugly. Okay, so Everling time. Let's see. For those who are wondering, I will play a couple of good guys again before all is said and done. So far, pretty normal. I'm gonna go e4, break the structure. It's gonna turn some kind of Caro-Kann type of structure. Where's Yaka when you need him? Oh, and for those, someone said something about my shirt. Yeah, so for those who actually are looking, it says Wings for Life. It was a charity run, not charity. Well, yeah, it was a charity run in May of this year. It happens every year. It's help people who have spinal cord injuries. So for those who are wondering what I'm wearing, it's a T-shirt from that event. So okay, so b6, rook e1. Bishop b7. I could play c4, c3, put a pawn somewhere. I'm just gonna put a bishop on g5. Play traditional. Castles, knight e5. Just don't bother with the queen side. As long as I can, that is. Basically, I just want to put like queen e2, rook d1, or knight e5, and queen f3 maybe. Just ignore anything over here. Like, no need to commit to c4 or c3 or any of that. As I was saying, yeah, I'm just gonna completely ignore everything and just play for the king side. Knight e5 might have been a little bit better than queen e2, because now after knight d5 he has knight f4 tricks, but shouldn't matter that much. So bishop f6 again. I'm just going to ignore it, just play rook d1. But now I am going to go c4 with the tempo, since there's a knight on d5 in a second. But probably he will castle now, I would assume. Or not. He's going to play queen d7, which is probably pretty bad, actually. Because after knight e5... Okay, so he takes. I'll take with the pawn, of course, just to open up this d file, since there's a knight and a queen on the d file. He's still probably kind of okay, but he's right on the edge of queen being okay and being in a lot of trouble. Someone asked me in the chat, Mayweather or McGregor. I don't actually think that's much of a question. I think it's pretty obvious who's going to win the fight. One of them's a boxer, one of them's not a boxer. So we'll see, but I think it's pretty clear to me who's going to win the fight. You guys can keep asking questions in the chat as well. I will actually see them periodically from time to time. So that's rook d6. Maybe knight e8 here or c5. One of the two moves probably has to be played. The c5. I could take on b7. I think I actually will, just because when he takes, I always am going to have a check in hand once he takes. So I'll play rook d1. Someone else asked me if I play video games. I think it was Heroes and Magic 3. I assume by Magic they're referring to the card game, which I have not played in probably like 15 years at least. So no, I do not play many
games for that matter.
H4 is probably a bad move. I just forgot he has G5 here for some reason.
Kind of stupid.
But I'll find a way to put some pressure on him. So I'll go Queen D3. Make him decide he's going to go King C8. Is he going to go move his rook off the D file? I think King C8 is almost a forced move here. Or he can play Knight D5s,
which I don't understand.
I'll just take a pawn. I put a pretty good fight for a while. Just Knight D5. He should have just gone King C8 instead of Knight D5, and he probably would have been fine. Now he's kind of in a lot of trouble. Maybe he takes on D6, ED6. But this is all pretty bad.
Pretty bad, to say the least.
Queen C7, I'll just take a free rook. Right, another question, actually, I just noticed is a question that everyone asks me for some reason. No one seems to believe me, and I'm just using a standard Logitech cordless mouse, nothing special. Everyone seems to think that I have some kind of special mouse, which I do not. So that's how it's always been. I've never used I've never had any special mouse, special mice. So that's the short and simple answer. Okay, so did I accidentally accept this guy again? I thought I accepted someone else. Okay, I'll play something weird. But this game, I'll do something really weird. Let's see. I'll play Knight H6, play F6, because putting a knight on F7 is the best score in the world. Bishop E3, I'll play E5. It's going to turn into some kind of King's Indian type of position. E5, D6. Maybe he'll play C5, maybe he'll play Knight F3. I'm not actually sure what his order is going to be. But I'll play F5 right away. Probably F3, maybe he'll take and play F4 or something. Or maybe he'll just play F4 right away. Seems really wrong, but we'll see. I'm going to play G5, F4 and plop something on E5 is my plan. Oh, I didn't expect him to play Bishop D4. That was stupid. That was really stupid. I thought he was going to play Bishop F2. Now this is going to be tricky. This could be kind of unpleasant, actually. Go G4, Queen F4, Knight D3, maybe. Oh yeah, I'm going to do it just to avoid any nonsense. But I have kind of made this rather messy. Still, it's probably not that bad, objectively. So, 4, Knight D3. Takes. Probably Knight G2, I would assume, maybe. I'll play Bishop D5. Probably Queen H6 is always there. Queen H6, Queen F6. You could always go back to D2. I'll just offer an exchange of queens, especially with the pawn structure with these pawns in E4, D5, C4. I can't exchange the queens, and I'm still probably okay. Whereas if white had the pawn on D4, it would be much worse. With the pawn on D5, it's probably reasonably okay. So probably, okay, so Rook F1, Queen U7, probably Bishop C2, I would assume. I'll just play bishop d7. I wanted to play a5, but then I give him knight b5, knight d4. It doesn't feel quite right, so now I'll play a5. And I'm going to be castling long in a second too, so... Okay, so h5, I'll just castle. Maybe h6. Doesn't really do much though. 7. Yeah, so he plays knight g3. What should I play here? I'll just play rook d8. I mean, you can go knight f5 here, of course, it's always an option. I'm just going to take it. If he takes the pawn, I'll go queen f6. If he takes with the rook, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'll probably just play rook f8 and try to exchange another set of rooks. Now, if he takes... Yeah, if he takes this way, I think I can play bishop c3. I don't really want to, though, so I think I'm just going to play queen h4. Maybe a3, maybe not, I'm not actually sure. Let's maybe this rook f7, which seems wrong. Okay, so bc3. Now how do I do something? I guess I'll just throw in check. Queen b2, queen g2. You can take h7, but then I might have rook e4. h8, king d7, king g5. Okay, so I'll throw in a check. I'll tickle him first. Probably king b3, I would expect. And fortunately, I don't think there's a whole lot I can do here. I think I'll try though. I'll try because draws are just terrible. No one wants to make any draws. Okay, king b7. Probably h7, queen h2. Oh, did I just saw rook g8? Takes e4. Oh, maybe I did. Then maybe that was not correct. It's rook f7, which is definitely a blunder, because now I can play rook e4. Wait a second. So, I played g3, he takes. If I check, it doesn't work. If I move my queen, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm doing something. So now I really need to just start moving really fast here. See how fast I can move. Fortunately, again, there is quite a bit of lag coming in. Kind of annoying. Whoops, that was a blunder. Out of a check. No. On. This might actually just be a draw. There's an insane amount of lag.
Ugh.
Oh, there's too much lag. Ugh. Too much lag. Oh well. And now, yeah, too much lag. Can't do anything about that, unfortunately. It was a bit ridiculous, but whatever. And of course, he would have lost that game if there wasn't lag, but whatever. Whatever, let's see. And knight c6, knight f3. c5, just castle. Knight d3. What? Oh. Bishop g4, probably knight d5. I feel like I saw this in a book like 100 years ago. Maybe it was the Waitzkin book that I saw it in. It's like, I think it's called Waitzkin Teaches You Chess or something like that. I feel like I saw this exact line. The gf6, bishop h6. Rook e8. I don't remember how this line goes, but I'll play king h1. Maybe queen d7. Okay, so he just takes. It's not. Wait, what goes? Bishop h5. Can I play f4? Maybe. Maybe. That would be weird. Bishop h5, f4, bishop d1, rook g1, king h8. Oh, okay, this doesn't quite work. Just barely. Should be a force mate in 4, I guess. King g8 takes, king f8, rook g8 takes, queen g1, bishop g4 takes, king g7. Probably king f8, rook g8, queen g1, mate, and a cop-death. And checkmate. Alright, let's see. So oh, did I accept this guy again? Sorry, I played this guy once before. I'm only gonna play
New guys. Let's see. Okay, 1 second.
Okay. ATGS. Playing a London system. I think that is that the British flag or is that Georgia? Oh, it's Georgia. Okay. About to say he was playing in honor of his country, but then
Yeah, it's Georgia. It's not London.
Or Tbilisi, I should say.
c3.
You could take. I'll just play d5. e5, solid move. Just take. Has to take with the e pawn here. He takes with c pawn. There's bishop b4 check. Probably he takes d4. I'll play knight e4. Why not? Bishop d3. I can probably just play knight takes c3. maybe not sure, but maybe. Um, so let's see. So c6. I'll take with the pawn. c2, c5. Try and break up the structure, create some threats right away. If he takes, I'll take with the bishop. Maybe he plays f3, knight f6, but it's still a little bit unpleasant. Bishop e3, I'll just take. Bishop d4, bishop c5. cd4, I'm not sure. Probably takes. Bishop f2, king d1, rook g8. Bishop c5, queen c5. Probably again he has bishop d3 here, I guess. It's not so bad actually. I thought maybe it was a little bit worse than this, but still a game. Castles e5, probably knight d2, e4, rook e1, e4. Pretty much e4 no matter which move he makes. a4 castles. Bishop f5. I'll just play a5. Fix the pawns here. He's a backward pawn at c3, a backward pawn at b3, and he can never play b4 or c4. So in exchanges, I'll just take back with my f rook. Maybe he has something else that he can do here. I'm not really sure. Let's see. Okay, rook c1. Take, I don't really want to. I can play rook b8. Don't really want to. But I'll just take. I'll take in. So queen f5 and I'll play knight e4. So knight a3. G6, queen f3, knight c3, queen takes e5. I'll play g6 anyway. Queen f3, knight d2, queen d1. Maybe not so simple. Good. Guy's playing quite well. I'll play f5. I'll go all in, just attack him. Knight b5, maybe f4, maybe rook d8. I'll just play rook d8. Maybe 3, I'm not going to exchange, obviously. I want to play f4, f3, or g5, g4, f4, f3. Some kind of kingside attack, though, for sure. Okay, so you just played f3. I can play f4. I don't really want to, so I'll play knight c5. Now, next move is going to be f4 for sure. Or not, if he plays rook e1. Rook e8. See what he wants to do. Play rook b1, play b4. b4 is a move, but the danger behind b4 is that now he's giving me, now I have extra pass pawn to the center. I've got 2 connected. Maybe not. He can actually take on d4, I guess. No, why did I do that? Such a bad move. Well, I'm gonna flag him, but this is not how I want to win. Oh, and he went queen b2, not queen a2? Oh. Well, that was strange, but
Okay, that was not ideal.
But when all else fails, there's always the flag. Okay, so I'm not gonna play Nims with this one. Maybe I'll play a semi-Taraj if he wants to. If he takes on d5, I'll take with a knight. Probably e4, build the center, pawns e4, d4, c3. He could also just take on d5. e3 is a little bit passive.
I'll play c5s.
Bishop b5, I'll play bishop d7. Probably takes, queen d7.
Alright, let's see.
Knight f3, I'll play knight c6. Castles, I'll just take, play bishop e7. Takes, bishop e7. Could be reasonable. Bishop a3. A couple moves. I'll just castle. I'll let him take a pawn temporarily if he wants to. Okay, he doesn't want to. d8, maybe queen b3, knight a5. If he takes on c5, queen c7 probably. Oh, queen d3, just plundered a piece. c4. So if he takes, I take the bishop, and if he moves, he can't protect the bishop on a3, basically. Good. Okay, rook b3, knight a5. Just dropping another exchange, unfortunately. Queen goes somewhere, and then I'll just take the rook.
Takes.
Many moves I can play here. I'll just put the bishop on f8, play g6, bishop g7, make sure no mates, and then just the rest will be pretty straightforward. And there goes another piece. Can't take the queen, so then I take his queen, so he just dropped his knight. So unfortunately, it's gonna be over soon. I think I'm gonna finish probably the next couple of games. Probably play some legitimate players. I'll try and play with an increment though, just so that nothing insane happens. I think someone mentioned that in the chat, so I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'll probably play like Yakov or someone. I'll play Yakov, and I think I'll challenge Yakov to like 3-2 or something. 3 minutes. But yeah, I think I'll challenge him to 3-2. That is if he wants it, which maybe he doesn't.
Okay, maybe he doesn't. So let's see.
Challenge Igor. Nope. No game yet.
Dude.
Wait a few more minutes, see if anyone strong wants to play. If not, then I'll get back to playing against you guys again. Let's see. So Yakov does not want to play, or he does. I think he's online. But good. Alright, so instead I'll play Too Weak, Too Slow. Man, seriously. I thought the name was funny, but the picture's something else. Guy has a sense of humor. Me 7. Alright, then I'm not gonna take it easy. I'm gonna go straight for the kill.
Alright, Bishop
F4. I'm not gonna let him survive with his original version of the Bongcloud. It's a great concept as long as your opponent doesn't try to kill you right out of the opening. Oh, I didn't realize this was the original guy who suggested I played it. Okay. I have a feeling after this game, neither of us is going to want to play it though with white or black. So far he's doing okay. I mean, I'm not sure how long Too Weak, Too Slow is going to survive this opening, but so far he's trying. He has a few issues here, unfortunately. But he's trying. Okay, so he has to try and develop again. FE5, knight e5, I guess. Or knight e5, I guess, so I'll just take. I'm going to throw in a check. This is not going to be very pretty, I don't think. I suspect this is going to be pretty ugly in a second. Maybe king d8, maybe. I guess king d8, try to hold on. I guess, I don't know if d6 is right or not. It looks... d6 or bishop c6 maybe. Okay, one sec. So d6, cd6, queen d6 takes, knight f7 for sure is winning a piece. So do I have better than that takes? Knight d5, queen e6. No, I don't have better than that. So I guess I have to go for this. This isn't really what I wanted to go for, but I guess I'll make it work, kind of. Not really the intention. So cd6 castles, fe5 maybe, is a more aggressive approach. I think it's probably the right act. Okay, so yeah, so I'll just castle, and then when he plays fe5, I'll play knight d5, overloading his queen because it's protecting his bishop, which I'm... Yeah, so he has to take now, because otherwise his bishop hangs. So it's queen e8, bishop takes e8, so he has to exchange. Takes, probably rook c8, rook f7 maybe. That looks pretty good. Or rook c8, bishop h4 also is interesting. Bishop h4, knight f6. So rook f7, knight f6, rook d7, knight d5, rook d7, king e8, rook d6, king e7, rook d5. And I just win. It's just an extra piece. Okay, so takes, queen e6. I think I can actually just grab this pawn, because when he takes, I have rook d1 check. d7, rook d7, and it's going to be mate pretty soon. Maybe king c8 he survives for like an extra 3 moves. He's going to survive for like an extra 3. So takes. Check. King d8, queen d7 is checkmate, so he probably goes king b8, bishop a6. He gets the one last check in. But
Now I can even just pre-move queen b7. And checkmate.
Oh, did I accept this guy before or not? I'm not sure if I did. But I see a very familiar flag.
It looks like the flag of Sri Lanka, pretty unmistakable.
So alright, you guys, I think I'll play this game and then I'll play one more after this. So I'll see who the lucky final is. Not finals, who the lucky
person is.
Takes f4. It's bishop e2, simple develop.
Make it normal, make it look good.
e5, interesting. Not the move I was expecting, but
Still solid tight.
actually, castles was a bad move because now he's queen h4. That was actually really poor. On queen h4 g3 you can just take, and queen h4 h3 is queen g3, rook f3 maybe? Queen h4 h3 bishop h3? Maybe.
We'll see.
I'll play h3 anyway, because on bishop h3 I think I'll just play queen e1, try to exchange
Or something.
Right, but he's clearly listening to the feed, because he played queen g3, but now after rook h3, queen h2, king f2, I think I'm kind of surviving, because he's doesn't have anything, nothing's hanging out, I can just exchange queens next move. Like, he can try, I don't know what he can try here, actually. Bishop b6, queen h1. f5, queen h1, bishop g3 is a serious idea. Okay, so f5, maybe I should play bishop c5, or maybe I just play queen h1 anyway, because on bishop g3 I can just take fe4 and block with bishop f3. Someone also, I guess, in the chat just asked me if I watch Game of Thrones. The answer is yes, I do watch Game of Thrones. Watched it pretty religiously. I never actually read the books, but I'm a big fan of the TV series. For those who are interested, looking forward to season 7. I think it should be coming out sometime soon. I feel like, but I'm not sure the exact date. Bishop c3, I'll take. Probably exchanging the bishop for the knight is not the right idea here, because this knight on b6 is a little bit bad, and even though black's an extra pawn, it's much easier for white to solidify everything. c4, c5, and the two bishops are quite good as well. Let's see other things. This is probably it wasn't the ideal way. Probably now he almost has to play b6, knight c5, and hope that he can salvage this. Because even though black's up a pawn, white has all the trumps in the position. Okay, rook e8 is a move. He is, I guess, threatening to play e3, takes knight c3, so I'll just block it. Now I also have rook f1 check. Okay, so knight b6. That's a good move. I'll play g4. Just make sure he doesn't have bishop f5 or move his knight to f5 somehow. Because everything here on the queen side is very solid. Can't attack my pawns. The bishop protects it. Might as well take some space on the king side in the meantime. So king e7, I'll play rook f1. Now I want to go rook f7 if he moves the king. He went king d6, I have c5, do I have anything better? No, not. So I'll take the knight. Or he went king e7, wow, okay, that was weird. Okay, I'll play rook f6. c5, I'll just take. He should undouble his pawns here with bc6. Bishop c4, and I'm gonna go rook f7 check in a move or two, I think. I'll just retreat. Bishop b5 was better. Not quite right, but if at b5, maybe rook f7 anyway. Okay, queen b8, I'll just take. Yeah. Okay. Well, all right, you guys. I think I'm gonna stop for now. Just quite a bit of fun. I've tried to answer most of your questions in the chat. I don't think I got to most of them. Obviously, the first like hour or so, I simply didn't have the window open. So anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed it. So this was my first stream here on Twitch, and I'm sure I'll be back to do more in the future. So until next time, you guys, take care, keep it real, and I'll be back soon. So have a good day, everyone. Okay, bye.